Miss Cheryl, Miss Cheryl Faulkner, how you doing? How you doing, Miss Cheryl? If you all can visually see me and hear me, please give me a thumbs up in the chat. Bless up to every one of you all that are here. Let me check my phone, make sure we all connected, make sure everything's good. We're gonna have an interesting conversation today. I hope y'all with it. America right now is celebrating Labor Day, and it is a day to celebrate all of the people that put in the work. You know what I'm saying? How y'all doing? Let's see if I can come in and chat in. If y'all can hear me, put it in the chat, please. Welcome in. And also, I want to do a sound check as well to make sure that the background is not too noisy, it's not distracting. Because we got generator going on. I think I can hear myself. And it's nothing more than just putting up a thumbs up, y'all, if y'all can hear me. I just want to make sure. Just want to make sure we're good. So today I want to have a conversation with you all. First of all, I want to start off by saying that the reason why I do a lot of the video and the content that I do is primarily to share some of the lessons learned that I've experienced in life, right? And one of the things that has been hitting me, Beverly, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Kathy B, as always, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you. But the reason why I share a large portion of my life is to say, man, I learned something from that. And if I learn something from something, I want to share it with you all. You know, over the years, I've heard a lot of different things about health, and we're dealing with a lot of different forces that come within us. Analytic Gardner, how you doing? Bless up. Good to see you. Welcome in. A lot of things that we deal with on an everyday basis is it connects with us. Our skin is an organ. The things that we hear, we take it in, our brain process it. Teresa, how you doing? Family man, what's going on, man? I appreciate you coming in. Thank you all. But a lot of things that we take in, we consume them and we process it. And our body does an amazing job with processing a lot of information and a lot of, I would say, minerals, nutrients, toxins. I would say a lot of different things that we digest and we absorb, right? A lot of things that we get into our bodies and we process it. And some things we don't think about, but we process. I've been noticing I travel a lot. I have to commute a lot just to go to work and do different things. But there's something that has changed, and I don't know whether you all have noticed it, but our food intake, if you buy prepared food, are you noticing a commonality with, in the South, we fry a lot of stuff, right? We fry a lot of stuff. How you doing, Gigi? Much love to you, Queen. Love you. Beverly, how you doing? We fry a lot of stuff. We eat a lot of things that are fried or what we call processed. And my concern is I've noticed I got a distinct smell in my nose. Whether I'm eating chicken, beef, pork, turkey, I'm noticing even fish that the smell is a continuation throughout whatever I'm cooking. And Gigi, she always gets on me. She always says, man, you could just smell out. I'm the type of person where I can come in contact with you and I can smell all kinds of things. And I don't share it because it's been within me with a lot. It's so deep that I can tell a lot about people by smell. And I can also tell what they digest and what they process. I can also tell what environment they've been around based on smell. My sense of smell is so acute that it's crazy. And is it a blessing? It's a blessing. I was born with it, so it's got to be a blessing. And a lot of people may not take in the information that I receive through my smelling, right? I have sinus, I have allergies, but I can smell very good. And then another thing about my body will radiate my environment. So, give you a classic example. I could go into an environment, whether it's an elevator or a car or what have you, and a person could previously smoke in whatever environment. And when I come out and I go into another environment that's different, I smell like smoke. I could think of dishes and I could smell like that dish. And some people, they have the same thing. And please go down this road with me because we're going to the cooking oil. We're gonna take our time and go through this road, right? I'm hoping you all can understand where I'm coming from. But we are all different. And this is something that I'm sharing with you all that literally I could go to your home and I could smell so many different things and process it. And I can exude that same smell. And it also goes to the things that you do to create your environment. Like some people, I can tell that they have sprayed or lighted candles or use a certain cleanser to overtake what was previously there because I smell what was previously there. And I'm not kidding you. Gigi is my witness. I don't talk about it a lot. Gigi hears me talk about it, but it's nothing negative or anything, but it's real. I have no control over that. I can just smell and then my body will expel that same smell. Like I could be out here in this wilderness right now, and when I go into a cleansed environment or a sanitary, I shouldn't say clean, but maybe a sanitary environment, I will still smell like out here, right? I don't know. That's how my body is. But I'm saying all of this to say that people, I'm not telling you to do anything, but I'm asking you to pay attention to your oils. If you're frying, you're stir frying, you're sauteing, you're battering, you're cooking, pay attention to your oils because I'm noticing there's a difference in our oils. And I'm talking about deeper than reading your labels, right? What I want to do is I want to encourage you. Where did Crisco come from? I've worked for the company, right? But my question is, where do Crisco come from, and what is Crisco? Where does vegetable oil? What vegetable do we use to make vegetable oil? My concern is whether it's grapeseed oil, avocado oil, vegetable oil, I'm smelling the same continuum throughout all of the oils. And I don't know what's going on, whether it's an additive, but I'm smelling it in vegetables, I'm smelling it in meats, and I don't care what type of meat. There's a continuum which is unique in my lifetime. There's a consistent piece that are in our oils, and I want us to be more aware and more astute about knowing what we're doing. it led me to do some research and learn a little bit about oils and where they come from. I would encourage you, everything that I drop on my channel, everything that I do, I don't want to be the pillar or the information genius. I want to invoke thought. I want you to be so freaking curious that you go and you search and you find your own results. Because your application is totally different between me and anybody else. Your food indigestion system is different between minds, right? So there are no concrete pillars to dedicate your life or dictate your life or your journey, right? There's no like golden key to turn anything. What I want to encourage you to do is look and learn, because I'm going to take you, first of all, on a story about my great grandmother. I didn't realize as a child, but I literally studied her. I studied her interactions. I studied a lot of different things. And if you do some research, you'll see that they, during my time and period, in the late 70s, the 80s, me growing up, it was engraved in our brain that animal fat is bad. It's bad for us. It's causing heart attacks. But now I encourage you to look up the Minnesota studies of cooking oil. It's a Minnesota study that was released. It was kept for over a decade before it was released. But look at it with an open mind, with an open dialect, and pay attention. And I see Kathy B says they are tricking us. So good, Gardner. How you doing, my brother? What's going on? Mar, how you doing? Let's stop. Let's stop accepting being tricked. Let's stop being put in a box with conspiracy. But let's start understanding what we're doing, because we are in the information age, and I just don't believe that we're going to have a longevity of information like we've been getting. I think we're going to have to tune into the natural being of us. And I want to ask yourself, I want to ask you, when we go and we buy a soda, the soda is made up of different chemicals, ingredients, whatever you want to call it, however it makes you feel well. My question is, if you was in nature out here, would you consume that amount within that short period of time? Because this is what we're watching and we're facing, that over these years, we are consuming a lot within a short window of time. Going back to my great grandmother, let me go back to the chat real quick. No seed oils for me, Fr Humphrey says. What's up, Fr Humphreys? My guy, you my bro. Man, you know I ain't got number love for you, David. King David is here, very supportive. Miss Cheryl, very supportive. I appreciate you all. And I don't just say that just because you're in the chat, but it's certain people in my life, in my YouTube life. I'm going to say my YouTube life. It's certain people in my YouTube life because I believe we go through different realms in life, right? And we can't hold on to a lot of people in the periods of our time, because all we have are windows in time, right? Right now, I am in the mix of your window of time, right? Whether I influence you, whether I encourage you, whatever, my goal is to get you to think and encourage you, right? But there are people in my YouTube career, and I would call it career because YouTube does not, well, Google does pay me for this, but I'm not driven on finances, because if I was, I would have been quit this job, because I make well less than minimum wage. I mean, I probably make third world country off of this thing, right? So I'm not influenced by this money thing, but I am influenced by I want when I'm gone to leave a treasure of I just want to leave an archive because I don't write no books or nothing like that. But I want to leave an archive of information and material, and I want to just stimulate your brain. That's my whole goal. And then I also want to share a little nugget of who was Eco Neighbor to my grandkids and great 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 great. Because me, I would love to see my big mother YouTube page or my great great grandmother's YouTube page, or my great grandfather or my great grand or even my grandfather's YouTube page. I would love to see him in his natural glory. You know what I'm saying? But going back to what I was saying though, we consume. I think a lot of times we get caught up on is this healthy or what we digesting? Is it a beneficial element? For example, if I eat one apple, they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But now we say apple juice, non concentrated, but raw organic apple juice is beneficial. But if I sit down and I do 1 pint of apple juice, is that one apple? How many apples does one apple take? How much juice can I get out of one apple? Will we look at a minute piece or will we look at a large? What I want to encourage you, if you're watching today, if you're looking today, think about this. Before you consume whatever you're consuming, is this a daily intake? Like how many pieces of seeds did it take to make this oil? So if I'm frying with sunflower oil, how many pieces of seed or how many whole seeds did it take to make this oil that I'm frying a dish in? Because in the past, going back, I'm fixing to go to my great grandmother now. I remember she used to prepare cooking. She had these pans, she had pots. She washed those pots thoroughly before she began to cook. But I remember she would take a slice of ham, fatback, or what have you, something that was high in fat, and she'll take a slither of it. I'm talking about a small slither, and she would cook it down. Just say she was cooking peas, right? She would cook the peas down. She would cook that fat down, and it will have a film of fat, of oil, right? That's where oil comes from. Oil comes from fat, right? Now I want y'all to open up your brains and stop thinking about conspiracy, government, plotting. I want you to let's be realistic. Let's talk about real facts. If you of my age, you can remember. And for those of you all that are my age or older, please put in the chat that you can remember when your mother or your grandmother or your great grandmother used to cook and prepare the meals, right? Fatty oils. See, we got it right here. King David. Fatty oils are good. Why do we say that? And I want to challenge you, King David. Why do you say that? Because anything that's too much can turn from good to bad. And I know a lot of y'all will not watch this whole thing, but I'm hoping you pick up on these little tidbits. Anything that's too much can be bad. We transition. At long ago, McDonald's used to cook their fries in beef oil. And if you remember back in the days, the fries that built McDonald's, it's almost like I watch these YouTube channels, I watch these content creators, and I watch them. They start out very organic. They start out very in the woods, the camera gear, nothing is major, nothing is just catastrophic. They don't have a crew. It's bumpy, it's shaky, it's raw, it's uncut. Rappers, musicians, artists, the canvas is not the best quality. The framework is handmade. I watch a lot of things in the very beginning are very organic and raw and uncut. Then I watch once popularity comes in, it starts the production. And with production and manufacturing comes compromise. With feeding a lot of people come compromises, right? This fatty oil, you absolutely right, King David. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But if you got fatty oil and you have one piece of meat and you got a gallon of fatty oil, is it really beneficial? Now, some people say, well, vegetable oil is better than animal fat oil. Is it? What I want you to do, I want you to look up 4-HNE. 4-HNE. And I want you to look at poly versus mono saturation. And I'm not the one that's going to give you this information. I just want you to go and look up this information, right? Because your body, we're going back to the beginning, your body's going to break down something, right? Whatever you bring in, whether it's negativity, whether it's positivity, whether it's fats, whatever it is, your body got to process it. Everything you bring into your body, it has to process it, right? And if it's processing it, what taxation is it causing? So people say, grapeseed oil. Some of the vegetable oil, is it soy? Is it sunflowers? Is it corn? Where does this vegetable oil come from? People say that men shouldn't take a lot of high concentration of soy. But if we're frying, deep frying, sauteing, stir frying, whatever you want to call it, air frying, whatever you want to call it, if we utilizing a lot of oil and we dumping our vegetables, our meats into this oil, where does this oil come from? And if you all just turning in, you're going to see that I first started out by saying, I'm noticing no matter what type of oil, I smell the same continuum in different oils. And how do we know what's in our bottles? I don't care how fancy the bottle is. I don't care how raw the label is. I don't care how creative. You can read the back of the label. But my question is, go to a grocery store and pull out 5 different oils and look and see if there's a continuum of a certain product on there. I'm just asking for the people. I use avocado oil. Okay, let's talk about avocado. Because what I'm trying to do is engage you to think about this. Kathy B says, I use avocado oil. My beautiful queen. Avocado oil, from what I understand, is one of the best fats that a human can consume. It's the most beneficial, one of, not, it's still more studied. We still figuring out stuff because you're going to play this 20 years from now, some of y'all young bucks, and you're going to see that what I told you about avocado oil may be a contradiction. But as of now, with the studies, avocado oil is one of the most beneficial fatty oils on the market. One of the most. But what if I got this much avocado oil and I dropped a piece of chicken in the avocado oil? How much oil does that piece of chicken retain? Okay, let's do this. What if I'm told that honey or cane syrup, the extracts of the sugar or brown sugar is better than white sugar? But what if I took the brown sugar and dropped the meat and cover that meat and sauteed that meat and cook that meat into a pound of brown sugar? Is it more beneficial than you putting it into white sugar? It may be. But now I want to challenge you to ask yourself, why should I have to put it in that pound of brown sugar? Now we're dealing with intentional thinking. We're dealing with the mindset of why do I need so much to make it right? Why do I need this much of crust on my chicken when I could be just as satisfied with this much crust? We use coconut oil, the off the grid trucker. We use coconut oil. Coconut oil, the islands of Jamaica, you look at the brothers and the sisters there, they live a long time. They use a lot of coconut oil. And some people that are not allergic to coconut oil, they claim that that's one of the best oil that you can take. But how much can your body, imagine this, say coconut oil, for instance. What if we said we're living on the islands of Jamaica and we consume 4 coconuts? How much oil is in 4 coconuts? Now, what I want to encourage you to do is go and do some research and then find out how many coconuts does it take to make 5 tablespoons of coconut oil. What you're going to find is it's going to take a lot of one product to come up with what we're using. My great grandmama used to coat the edge. When she put that slice of piece of meat in there, she could literally eat that meat. That was a serving, right? When she put them field peas in that coating and she cooked down the field peas with the water, she didn't add no butter with it. She just cooked down the field peas, but she first cooked that meat. She left the meat in there, but she spreaded that fat around that pan, and then she put in those field peas. And then she cooked with that piece of meat. And guess what she did? She ate that piece of meat with the field peas. So my question is, could a person really consume that piece of meat within a sitting? But now, if we look at what we dump our food in, we're looking at, okay, I'm going to do this. So corn, let's talk about corn. So corn oil is the majority between soy, corn. It deals with a lot of vegetable oil. So it takes 98 ears of corn, 98, listen to me. It takes 98 ears of corn, which is 12,000 calories. 12,000 calories, right? To make 5 tablespoons of cooking oil. Can you eat 98 ears within one sitting? So when we go back to corn oil is not good or soy is not good, if you ate it, you wouldn't sit down and eat no 98 corns. The reason why it's not good is because we looking at a processed piece, right? We're consuming this processed stuff, and this processed stuff, our body is overloaded, and our body can't process it. So if you look at a chip, you look at fries, you look at chicken, you look at all this fried food, our bodies, they overloaded. So what I wanted to come on this live for is to say, man, I'm going to do better. I have been violating so bad. I have been literally abusing my body for over 50 years because I love fried foods. And I love dipping things in fries. I love using good oil, good quality oil. Let's talk about grapeseed. Everybody talk about grapeseed. So grapes, it takes 625 grapes to make those same 5 ounces of oil. And we already know we cook far more oil. We use far more oil than 5 ounces, right? You're talking about, imagine sitting down and eating 625 grapes, right? What other ailments would you have? Because we know grapes have natural sugars. We know it have vitamin C, too much of vitamin C, too much of natural sugars. Your body is saying, please help me. Please help me to process this stuff. So we take these detoxes to plenish and flush our bodies out because the body is overworked. Now imagine years of this mindset where we're dumping into a pan or to a fryer a bunch of stuff. So what I want to encourage my beautiful people to do is be intentional about what you're doing. Yes, does it taste better some ways? Yes, it does. But let's be intentional about what we're doing. Let's start thinking about it. Because I'm for real. Because if you look at it, now let's reverse. I used to grow up in a small store and there was only one section of cooking oil. But now we go into stores, we see a whole aisle of cooking oil, and on the other side of the aisle, we see baking. Money over people. Money over people. Money over longevity. Money over people. We gotta start protecting our people and loving our people and understanding that moderation is the key, discipline is the key. We can overcome a lot of this stuff. And it's something better than something. For instance, I'm broke. I'm in the hood. We ain't got no lights. We ain't got no sewage. We don't have no gas, no power, no nothing. And then I come back and I say, John over here has sewage. Now, John is living in a more healthier environment than me. But if we both in the same situation, they just one thing, one resource better than me, that don't make it healthy. That does not make it healthy. Is it healthier? That's left to open discussion. Because if I'm not eating and I'm water fasting in this bad environment, I might be healthier than John, right? If I'm cooking, making my own food, growing my own food, I might not have sanitation, electricity, water. I might not have a lot of resources. But if I'm out here like during the day, gardening, working, being active, doing whatever, I might be better than John. So when we do this blanket of John is more healthier, but when we look at the totality of our lives, we'll see it's really not good either way. So what I want to encourage you all to do is start thinking, man. Start thinking about this stuff. It takes 2,800 sunflower seeds. Imagine. My wife, she loves eating sunflower seeds. But I would tell you, she would not sit there and eat no 2,800. Now, my question is, seeds are fatty, right? If seeds are fatty and your body can't process but so much fat, right? And then your body converts a lot of fat to storage for future. Your body also understands that the things that you do, this is what happens on a consistent basis. So your body will adjust to it. For instance, just say you eat a lot of spicy foods and just say your stomach says, I need a lot of acid to break down some of these spicy, heavy meat or heavy dough or processed foods. And you eat that on a continual basis for 6 months. What happens if you stop after those 6 months? Your body will still produce the same amount because your body got to adjust to, you just made a change. All I'm saying is what we do on a daily basis, y'all, your body's going to take a time and it's going to go through sickness, going through a lot of frustration. But I'm encouraging you all to think about it. They said prior to when you look at the 1800s on up, there wasn't a lot of heart attacks. But we say their diet was horrible. My great great grandmother was born in 1883, right? She ate animal fat. She ate fatback. She ate collard greens. She ate that stuff, right? But look, she was probably more physical, as far as getting up every day, being more active. What type of meats? She got it off the farm. It was hand raised. It was farm fed. The stuff that they ate, they gave it back to the animals. They didn't go down to the feed store. They controlled their environments, right? What I want to encourage you all to do is do more of controlling your environment. We can't control everything about it, but let's start being more intentional about what we're doing. So if you would normally cook your chicken in this much oil, why not cut it down in half? If your usage of a certain type of product, whether it's animal fat, vegetable oil, whether it's canola oil, whether it's grapeseed oil, whether it's avocado oil, why not reduce? Because I'm challenging you all to reduce all of your oils. And let's find out what's this continual piece in all these oils too, because the price of oil is skyrocketing, right? Let's go back to not dishing fatty oils, but just reduce your amount, right? Because guess what? We're gonna have to go back to the basics to make things stretch. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but why cause your family to suffer? Because you can't be more intentional about what you're doing. And what you're doing right now, you're teaching the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. And they don't have to do it. But you know what happens? You put a seed in their brain, and then you never can tell how that seed may manifest and how that seed may produce and grow far more than what you planted. I'm going to go in the chat and we're going to slide on out. I just want to kind of get your brain to thinking about what we consume. I get it, something is more healthier. I get it, cane syrup or canola oil. I get it, all of that stuff, vegetable, this and that. But ask the question, what kind of vegetable? Ask the question of how many vegetables did it take to make this? Ask the question of, okay, per ounce, how many vegetables is this? Could I consume it? If I can't consume it in one sitting or one day, then ask yourself the question, should I be doing that? Is this really beneficial? Bro Lawrence, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let me go in the chat. I'm sorry. I've been not everything brown is better than poison white sugar. Coconut is white, but on the outside is brown. But the milk is white. But then a mother's breast milk, colostrum, is semi-white. We got to use our mind to be like, look, where did it come from? Breast milk is better than cow's milk. What that cow ate? You eating off of a cow? Where did that cow come from? What was that mama drinking and smoking when she was pregnant? She breastfeed. Did she prepare her body for the manifestation of a body being given from her body? What I don't want us to do is keep going with these cliches of one slogan is the answer to all. What I want us to do is dig a little bit deeper and scratch the surface and challenge ourselves to the point where we be like, what are we doing? And let's be intentional about what we're doing. If I'm preparing myself to have a child, to have a baby, then how far before I consume that baby am I preparing myself? Right? Think about it. Absolutely great fat. We're talking about avocado. My body responds immediately to eating avocado. Know your body. Listen to your body. I've seen times where I have eaten stuff that I love the taste and I knew it was going to make me sick and cause acid reflux and give me gas. But I still ate it. Gigi just said, my body responds. How often do we really, like, I'm only going to wait to Thanksgiving before I eat this. And I know this is not the best thing for me to do, but I'm fixing to eat this. But I only do it for once a year. That's your body. Do whatever you want to do. But ask yourself, what's the irony in that? What's the process in that? So we got duck oil. Duck oil is good. Ducks are real oily. I have eaten duck maybe twice, once or twice in my life. Um, Ducks are full of oil. I think they gotta have a lot of oil to be water resistant, right? But let me ask you a question. You got your blood, you got your veins, you got your arteries, you got oxygen, and you got your heart, you got your lungs, you got your muscles, and everything is being transported. Oil is necessary. Oil cools down. Oil also reduces friction. Friction causes what? Inflammation, right? Inflammation causes your body not to work right. It causes invasion of other contaminants into your body, right? So think about it. Think about what you're doing. Think about your body got to process it and not overwork your body. So we got vegetable seed oil is highly processed to extract the oil. I mean, how many seeds does it take to make vegetable oil? My question is, if it takes a lot of natural resources to make, and we're dealing with mass production, typically there's some shortcuts in there to help with that process. And typically there's some legislation and some flexibility and some rules to allow that. So you have what you call substitutes, you have fillers, you have all of this stuff. Anything that comes from nature and you taking in a lot to produce it and make it, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have a lot of stuff, man. Man, peace to you too, my brother Lawrence. The off the grid trucker. We use coconut oil. Man, let me share something with you all. If it come from nature, I don't think it's a loss. And this is just my personal opinion. I'm not a nutrition. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I'm none of that. But I think if it comes from nature, you're winning, right? But I think sometimes we got to focus on the amount too. Yeah, it may be healthy as far as what it is and what it's made of, but let's focus on too. Let's transition, not just okay, we got the health piece. Now let's transition to how much do we really need to take in to our body, right? How much can our body process without being overloaded? You know. Thank you, Gigi. Excellent question. Let's go down. I apologize if I missed some of it, but I'm trying not. Um, so Gigi says, and look how healthy they look compared to us. You talking about people in Jamaica? You talking about people in the not just Jamaica, but in the mountains, the beautiful mountains of Jamaica, the people that live off the earth. Um, I don't want to call a sector of people, but y'all know begins with an M. Y'all do the research. I mean, some people call it idolatry. Some people call it this and that, but I see nothing but lean muscle content. I see big, nice, good bangs. I see a lot of good activity going on, right? And notice you never know the age of them, right? They don't even have to talk about the age. They don't even keep up with the time. There's different type of coconut oil. There's different type of everything. I the off the grid. That's my encouragement. Do some research, y'all. Just because you pull it off the shelf, and I'm gonna tell you, some people say if it's expensive, it's better. I challenge that. Sometimes the refined and the additives are not there in some cheap brands. But sometimes the additives and all of that is to get you to keep using it, keep buying it. When you see an aisle in a grocery store full of oils, there's money in that. I want you to Google how much is the cooking oil industry. How much is it? And then once you see how much the cooking oil industry is, that hopefully will change your mindset of being trusting of these companies, because we got to do our research. We got to pay attention. I'm just saying, pay attention. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Fr Humphrey says, great point. The oil in the food with the food versus the oil extract from the food and added to other foods. I'm just saying. And my question is, if I ate wherever this oil comes from, how much would I eat in one sitting? How much oil comes from a corn? And if I ate three corns of corn, if I ate three, the corn, the whole corn, if I ate three of them, and I just told you that it takes 98 ears, so if I ate 3 ears, some people say, you overindulging, you overeating. But then they sit down and they eat a piece of salmon dipped in corn oil, or scallions, mussels, whatever, dipped in corn oil, and it took 98 of them to make 5 ounces. And just say the meat retained 2 of those 5, and you ate it. How many kernels did you eat? So that's what I'm trying to say. We got to watch our judgment piece, man. We got to really understand what we're saying and what we're doing, because we're moving in a consumer type mindset. And that's the thing I want to get you to really wrap your brain around, because we've been duped and we continue to be duped. Somebody put it in the chat that money, scheme, all of that. Wake up, y'all. Wake up. Wake up, because we have been taught that we're better over here because we don't do this, and we're better over here because we don't do this. And we be like, somebody somewhere in the middle say, screw all of y'all. But somehow we got to understand we all connected. We all interconnected. And we all got validity where we are. Coconut oil is excellent. Avocado oil is excellent. Really, is corn oil that bad? I think it depends on how much you take. Is soy oil that bad? How much are you taking in? Really? Because everything from nature has a purpose, and everything from nature has benefits. We cannot turn our back on nature, y'all. But we gotta be mindful of what we consume. That's the whole point. Just think about it. Do your research. Let's go back in the chat. Here we go. Kathy B says, my mom used shortening oil, whatever that was, maybe lard. Okay, what's shortening? Man, okay, what's Crisco? It's almost like when we think about certain things. Just say if I tell you, I'm trying to think of something that when you think of certain things, it's a brand. It's not really what it is. Like Crisco. What is Crisco? It's not really lard, right? What is lard? Lard is animal fat. Okay, animal fat. What type of animal fat? Where did that animal fat come from? Did it come from multiple animals? What was the life of that animal? Was it scrap animals? Animals that you couldn't produce to make meat, and then they were pretty much processed, but you had to still get something from the animal? What type of animal did that come from, right? Well, you don't really know that. You're right. You don't know it if you don't have control over it. So what we have to do, just say if that animal was processed in a bad situation and the animal wasn't healthy, how much should you be taking in? If it's cooked, it's burnt, the pollutions are destroyed through the fire, But most people don't know most of your oils have already been cooked prior to them being put on the shelf. Because think about this. If you all are growers and if y'all gardeners, put it in the chat if you gardeners. Anything that you grow, and one of the biggest things when I got heavy into garden, I was like, my shelf life on all of my stuff don't last no time, right? My shelf life don't last no time, right? I'm skeptical even on canning stuff. It don't last a long time. Why it don't last a long time? Because it's natural. I didn't add any preservatives to it. I didn't add any enhancements to it. So guess what? If you got oil on the shelf and you don't know when it was made, when it manufactured, and you can still use it after the expiration date, which is a joke, then what's in that bad boy? If it's natural, what's in it? I don't care what piece of corn you grow, you make. You see corn in any vat, or you sit corn in a bucket, a bag, you're gonna find later on, once you go there, you're gonna have oxidation, you're gonna have mold, you're gonna have the deterioration of that corn. Why? Because it's in the natural state. So my question is, you're gonna use it. I get you're gonna use it, but how much of that do you want to use? That's my question. How much you want to bring into your body? But I bet she cooked a cast iron pot and not a Teflon. Well, they say that cast iron is not healthy. They say that cast iron puts in too much metals into your body. That's what they say. I don't know. I think about when I think about the death rate, and I'm not talking about no guns or no shooting, no criminal, no drugs. I'm not talking about nothing. But when I look at I'm talking my personal experience. My great uncles, my great grandmamas, my great aunts, they were around for quite some time. Not just around, they were active. They wasn't in no, because think about it. Think about this. If there were so many elderly people that couldn't move, they would have been came out with these power chairs. They would have been came out with all of these scooters and all this other stuff. The grocery stores, because they cater to the elderly in a lot of cases, they would have been had ways and modes of transportation for our elderly. But the difference is, years ago, if you were elderly, a large number of them were good until probably like the 5 year, I would say max 10, but maybe 5 year window between them passing. But if you go prior to that, man, they were active. They were good. Everything was good. So what happened? What changed? Our food and our environment changed. That's what happened. The way that we eat and what we eat, it changed. That's what happened. Um, Going back into this chat. Damn, good conversation, Eco. I needed, you know what, man? I need you. And iron sharpen the iron. I appreciate you. Make this go viral. Good morning. How you doing? I love that thumbnail. Beautiful thumbnail. Beautiful smile. Would you eat the grape seeds? I mean, you asking me? You asking me would I eat the grape seeds? I eat grapes, seeds, and all. But I sure ain't freaking eating no 625. Not in no one sitting. I probably break out in hives. But you know what? We cook with it. I'm just saying, we cook with it. Just say out of that 625, which, let's be real, people, we do not fry nothing in no 5 teaspoons of no oil. We don't, all these numbers I'm giving you are 5 teaspoons. We already know that we eat more than some 5 teaspoons of some oil, right? But let's just say 5 teaspoons of oil, right? Out of the 625 that it took to make grapes seeds that it took to make this oil, let's just say half of it we digest. I still ain't finna sit down and eat no 300 plus grapes, and especially the seeds. I'm finna eat three. I can I? Yeah, I can, but typically we don't do that. That's all I'm saying. We don't do that. Um, Watermelon seeds too. I don't know. I never ate watermelon seed oil. Never ate it in my life. But I still say the same thing. The same thing holds true. It only takes a certain amount for me to eat and consume. And now I'm just saying, man, I've heard all these natural studies, but man, hitting 50 hits different, right? I'm paying more attention what I'm taking in, what I'm processing, my natural light, the when the sun comes up, and there's no win-win. I should have been doing this from when I was young, but some stuff come innate, right? But this is the thing that I'm saying though, man, what we doing? And I'm watching facts that were ingrained. We used to have I know you may not have this, it's so much process in my brain, but we had lessons in school where we had these red pills where we brushed our teeth in school. It tastes like pure garbage. Our teeth were red, our tongue were red, and then they saying now that was a bad thing. I'm not saying what was in it. I remember they told us things like animal fat was bad for us. You need to do this. I remember times where in the beginning, when I first came along, the Surgeon General started putting on these emblems on the cigarette packs. But by that time, we were all, you can go to a grocery store, to an office, to a meeting, to church, outside the church, around the church. People were smoking. By the time it got out, it was too late. So what I'm trying to encourage you all to do is just research. Do your research. I was told to eat watermelon seeds. I grew up spitting them out. Once again, we were told a lot of different stuff, but you got to do your research. You got to investigate. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Thank you for this knowledge, brother. I'm about, hey, many blessings, safe travels, keep on pushing through, and keep doing what you do. Amazing. If animals eat it, you can eat it. Man, David, let me share something with you. Me and Gigi, we be watching the pups, right? These pups, man, they I ain't never met, I ain't never had a dog like these. I never had dogs like these. But these dogs, they don't eat no dog food. They don't even play around. They eat the dog food when they are absolutely at the end where they don't have any other choice. They prefer raw meat, but they don't prefer any kind of raw meat. They're very selective about their meat. Everything is a last resort when it comes to certain stuff that I thought was cool. Processed dog food and all of that with the corn and the peas and the broccoli and all, they don't deal with it. But you know what they do? They come out here on the land, and as we walk through the woods, they forage. And guess what they forage on? Plants. But it's not just any plants. I be watching them. I'm like, it's certain selective plants. And I ain't talking about they got bad gut health, but this is the way they just eat. And they just go through. Now, who taught them that? All I'm saying is the creator is so amazing. So amazing. And you absolutely right. Let's watch. Let's watch. Dye tablets. Okay. Let's talk about dye tablets. Okay. I think you're talking about the brushing of the teeth. Dye tablets. But it was some white pieces underneath that red. I don't know what the white was. I was told what the white was, but I really don't know what the white is. The more nutrients dense the food, the less you want to consume. Gee, mama, you breaking us off. So they say bear meat. You can't eat a lot of bear meat because it's so densely packed with proteins that your body will reject it. That statement she just put right there. That's all I'm saying. Listen to your body, people. Some of us, we so disconnected. We feel comfortable being sick. I remember I used to pay for meals and it was more than I can eat, but I didn't expect for it to be more than I can eat when I ordered it. And then when I ordered it, I couldn't stand to see that food being thrown away that I forced myself to eat all of it. Not true, David. Animals have different digestive systems to deal with the plant toxins. We cannot. They said that cows have multiple stomachs. It can process things that most humans can't. But once again, I was told from a Native American, because I'm not talking about what I heard, what I thought about, what I dreamt about, but a culture that was here from this earth told me they would watch certain animals on what they ate as they traveled, and that gave them a good indicator of what they can eat. Now, did it mean it was 100%? No. I just think sometimes when we make these statements, we just so like what David said, does that negate that we can't look at animals and learn from them? No, it does not negate that. And I'm not saying you were saying that, but I'm just saying we are so like an off and on switch that we don't understand that there's gray areas and there's mediums in between the two. So, can you learn a lot from animals and what they eat and what they do? Absolutely. I believe. Now, you do your own thing, but I do believe that. But now, do we do everything the animals do? Do we eat everything the animals eat? No, because we only consume a piece of it. Once we see an animal do it, then we sit and we wait for our bodies to process it, and we say, "Oh, that made me sick." Even though they eating that, I'm not eating that. We don't just gorge and go in, but we just take our time and process. So many times we just rush in, and one thing about this off-grid life, and one thing about this unplug, one thing about living off the land is I'm not so fast to do different things. I'm not so fast to have judgment. I'm not so fast to process stuff. I'm not so fast to just put everything in one category because every day is different and every situation is totally different. And it's a beautiful thing when you look at it. That makes us all unique. That makes us all can add value to each one of our lives. You know what I'm saying? That's the beautiful thing. Uh, we had smoking areas in our see. Yeah, smoking areas in your high school. That would be unheard of right now. I used to go to the teachers' lounge in high school. Yes, I was grown before my time. Yes, did I hang out with some teachers? Sometimes I would go to the Elks Lodge or to the Mooks Club, um, or go to the grown folks little hole in the wall, or go to some people houses that were growner than me, and sit at the spades table and go into a certain room where certain smoke filled the room, away from everybody else, and the teacher lounge was full of smoke in school. We had a multi-level high school, and in the stairway, after they banned smoking on campus, the stairway was full of smoke. And you might see a teacher, you might see a counselor, you might see a coach. I totally agree with you on that. I totally agree with you there. I saw a lady make her plant-based toddler cookies using watermelon seeds. Man, there's so much we got to explore. It's so much, and it makes life fun. And this is a beautiful thing. We don't know it all. We don't know it all, and that's what's beautiful because there's so much to learn. They can smell the chemicals in that mess, that dog food. I already know what you're talking about. Because if you mass producing anything, and you can only have so many kernels of corn that are produced, what happens? Just imagine it's a growing season, and your main product is meat parts, meat scraps. I'm talking about dog food. Meat parts, meat scraps, corn, starch, maybe some pea content. Typically, most dog foods are primarily rejects of what humans are not allowed to consume, but we give it to our loved ones, which are our pets. And those byproducts, what happens when we're starting to give those byproducts to humans? Then it's less we can put in the dog content, right? Then if it's less we can put in the dog content, you got to fill it up with something. So what are we filling up with? We're filling up with something. Sometimes we be stuck in ourselves. Yeah, yeah. And David, one of the things about being stuck in yourself is society make you sometimes stuck in yourself. When you want to give and you want to help somebody, you open up a door for a young lady and she be like, I had one woman to take the door out of my hand and close it back and say, I don't need you to open no door for me. I was at a building, and I'm not talking about ignorant people. I'm talking about these are quote educated people. I remember there was I'm not gonna say what her position was, but she was highly respectable in the whole entire state of Florida. And I remember she was struggling. There was like a holiday or something, but she was bringing in a bunch of decorations and ornaments, and she had carts and boxes and bunch of stuff because she's, you know, I'm in with the people. I love the people. That's the kind of energy she had. But she was struggling, and I went over and I said, "Hey, let me grab that." No, 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 no. I'm fine. I'm fine, Eco. I'm fine. I can take care of it. I, if I have to make 2 trips, I can make 2 trips. You don't have to help me. I mean, that's the world we live in, y'all. That's the world we live in. Animals are nature. Animals are nature. So I start raising rabbits and grind them up for dog food. Sound like you controlling your animal's intake. Sound like you controlling your environment. What's up, beautiful Auntie Bev? How you doing? Good to see you today. Hope you're doing well, Auntie Bev. Good to see you. And remember, cows only eat grass. What kind of grass? How do you have a field with only grass and nothing else? Back in the days, I remember cows used to just roam around the land. Now I see fields with one type of grass, and that's all you see, just that one grass. When I go out here, I try to grow grass. I got weeds, I got all kinds of stuff. I don't know what's different. I go into the same place that the farmer's buying the grass, but why don't I just see one grass when I plant it? I'm seeing all these. Y'all be in the chat telling me all these different types of plants. Why don't I just see that one grass even though I'm planting it? But I go out in these fields, all I see is grass and that one particular grass. The dogs don't even want it. You're right. Big facts. I got it. Just because it is good to you doesn't mean it's good for you. I learned that the hard way. Hmm. That's a sermon, G Mom. You need to preach on that. Just because, wait a minute, I can hit that in so many different ways. Oh, you got me. Let me read that one more time. Just because it's good to you doesn't mean it's good for you. I learned that the hard way. Mm, all of that. All of that. All of that. It ain't just about no food either. Yes, Lord. We won't trust each other. Why is that? Kid, I don't know. I'm eco neighbor. We won't trust each other. I mean, I don't know. What is trust? I mean, I hate to be silly on that conversation because I just think about this. Let me go back to this on a serious note. On a serious note, who is we? First of all, we all different. We all different sizes. We all different shapes, different colors, different cultures, different people. Who do we? And we won't trust each other? Mm, mm. I guess if I understood the we, I might could understood the trust each other because I will go tomorrow and set an appointment for a month down the road to a person that I don't even know. And then I will go and walk into an office, sign and pay money up front and lay down in a couch or a chair that I don't even know, lay my head back, open up my mouth wide, and allow somebody to take a pick, a grinder, and some other materials with big lights and a helmet and mirrors into my mouth. And we talk about trust. I don't know. I don't know. Um, I don't know because I think we give a lot of trust to certain people we shouldn't give trust to. We should ask questions. We should get to know. So if I understood the we, I think I could understand the trust each other because I think us walking into a store, you don't work. You remember I said before, I get paid twice a week. I mean, every 2 weeks. That's 10 working days, right? Taking out the weekends, 10 working days. Out of the 10, 4 of those days, I literally work for taxes and other bull crap, right? The remainder 6 days are money that I actually take in, right? Then I go into a store and I purchase a good that I don't know who made it, who packaged it, who put it together. I don't know none of that stuff. And then I add another tax on top of the money that I already been taxed. I don't know where that tax go. I don't know who get paid off of it. I can't track anything. And it's amazing that we can have elections, we can have taxes, we can have everything. I should have a ticker and an app to see I just paid 36 cents in taxes. It went to Senator such and such. It went to legislation. It went to the building of highway such and such. I should see every single penny and dollar of everything that goes. And we don't. I'm just saying. But what do you call that? I think that's trust. I don't know. We trust that it's going to be used in the right way, right? A disaster happened. I've given money to entities, to apps. I'm trusting that they're gonna do the right thing with it. I don't know. I just don't know. It's one of them things, y'all. Actually, David, CO2s for eat other things than grass. I don't know. I ain't out there with them cows. I don't know what they eat. I don't know. The Bible says plants and leaves are for foods and medicine. Look into it. Hey, look into it. That's what's beautiful about the day and age we are. We now I'm gonna say we use that word we. I'm talking about African Americans, people that were brought here from another country. We were not allowed to research and to read and to go and do research. Now we got all those opportunities right now. Every opportunity, no excuse. It's up to us. The door is unlocked. Walk in, walk in, walk in. I'm glad you came in too, Hickabilly. Much love to you. Hope everything's going well out there on your homestead, your beautiful homestead. Hope you and the husband are doing well, man. Doing well. I'm getting ready to get out of here, y'all. I'm gonna go down the chat, make sure there's nothing. Notice dogs get cancer now. I don't know, Oh man, David, you always do that, man. They said heart attacks really didn't happen too often prior to the 1900s, but Cancer, I don't even remember cancer. Maybe I don't know. Humans and their pets are the only animals that eat highly processed food. But why do pets eat it? Because we give it to them. Because we give them no choices. Shaka and Musa needed a part-time job to help. Look, I put them on my video, babe. I'm putting them on my video. Y'all get tired of seeing Shaka? Wait a minute. Let me do this. Shaka. Zulu. Shaka Zulu. Musa. Musa, come. Shaka, come. Sit. 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 Good boys. Good boys. Good boys. Sit. 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 Sit down. Sit down. Sit. Look at them. They do what they want to do. Now, if they want on camera, they'll sit. 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 Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. That's Musa. And that's Shaka. Look at Shaka. All right. Well, they just earned one piece of chicken, y'all. Y'all put it in the chat. Super chat. they just earned one piece of chicken. Stop. I'm getting ready to get out of here, y'all. I'm using up your time. I appreciate it. We got 44 in the chat. We're going to leave on a positive note. Thank you so much for everything you do. Let's recap real quick. You already know I got to recap. Make sure that you pay attention to what you consume in your body. Make sure you pay attention to what you're doing. Make sure you think about the oils that you cook with. Think about it. Even if it's grapeseed oil, even if it's avocado oil, how many avocados would you eat, right? Come on. Don't buy into this stuff. It could be something very healthy, slowing your process called life. It's gimmicks. It's marketing. Be wise. Be smart. Take charge of your life and love life, because life is beautiful if you're allowed to be. Y'all be blessed and be well. And don't forget, whatever you do, keep on growing. Grow. Eco Neighbor.